Welcome to the Sonic News Network for Sonic News, Reviews, and Walkthroughs. I am KhariProductions here, and I'm here to give my thoughts on the Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal demo. The 3DS demo went live yesterday, and I decided to give my thoughts on it because it was playable. Overall, it was kind of okay. I'm going to go into more detail, but not super detail, as to ruin it for people who haven't played it yet and/or try to go too detailed into it, because it is a demo after all. We have to remember that. So the final game, even though it's coming out in a week and most likely will play exactly the same, may or may not have any changes, because most developers use demos as basically free play testing anyway. So the gameplay, number one, is really stiff. It is honestly, like, the momentum is constantly being stopped, and that's mainly because controls are awkward. You jump with B. Really, you jump with B. It's 2014, people, and we are jumping with B. It's not a big problem, but it's Sonic here. Every Sonic game, we have jumped with A. Even Sonic Unleashed, that screwed up the homing attack with, AX, still had you jump with A. Or jump with X if you were on PlayStation consoles. But in any case, we still had a regular jumping button. But you can jump with B, and there's no option to change that in the options. You do have, I think there's two playstyles in there. So you have B to jump, you have X to special. Well, this is in the my playstyle that I played with. You have X to use your special, which for Sonic is just regular spin dash. Knuckles is the punch. For sticks, it's the boomerang, and for Tails, it's kind of like this. I don't know if it targets or not, because when I used it, it kind of did both. But it's just basically he throws like a mine, kind of like he did in Sonic 06, but it doesn't, burst into. It's kind of like, it's more like Rouge's thing from Sonic 06 rather than Tails' thing from Sonic 06. It works pretty well. I also wanted to plug in that Tails' flying is wrong. It's done wrong in this one. Basically, when you play as Tails and you jump, you kind of hover a little bit, but you don't hover upwards or downwards. It'll stay the same. You kind of just put your tails out as you're descending downwards, and you don't even lower the rate as which you go down. You just go down, which doesn't make any sense, because it doesn't mean Tails is flying. It just means he's kicking out his tails when he's going downwards, which doesn't make any logical sense. I don't see the need for this. I don't see why this was done. And you do use tails when you go over on hoverboards, and they actually boost you up, but Tails isn't flying. You're basically being boosted up with the tails when you're falling down. Maybe this sounds a little bit too nitpicky, but it just doesn't make any sense to me. Just wanted to say that right there. You press A to enter beam, which we're gonna get to that later, because that's both a bad thing and a good thing there. And then you press Y to sprint, which every character can sprint. It's not just the Sonic thing, which I thought it was going to be a Sonic thing, because a dash is normally a Sonic type thing, but nah. So basically, the game is a 2D plane, and it's mostly open-ended levels, but they have a linear style to it. Well, at least for one type of the three levels in one of the three, because there's three levels in the small demo that we're given, and they're not exactly bad, they're not exactly good, they're just kind of okay when you get into it. You kind of just go, you run, you jump, you have to explore to find everything, or else you can just speed run by going through it. A lot of people said it was going to feel Metroidvania when people first played the demos on the at E3 and such, and I kind of got a little bit paranoid about that, because I really hate Metroidvania style. I just don't really like that kind of open-ended, platforming style. I think platforming works better, in my opinion, when it's more of a linear style. But in this game, it's all right. There are some exploration, but most of it is just move behind yourself when you enter beam off. But we'll get to that. Enter beaming to obstacles is slapdash. It feels slapdash, because most of the stuff that you enter beam to in obstacles would have been just regular, Sonic 3 vines or stuff like that, where you would just, swing and move on. It's not completely bad. You can put it to some sort of use, but it just feels slapdash, and sometimes just double jumping can just blow past the obstacle and just blow past the mechanic altogether. So it kind of makes it a little bit a little bit unusable in certain areas. But there's 3 levels in the demo. The first level is Seaside Beach, which yeah, great creative naming. The main problem with Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal, at least in the demo, was Sonic Lost World syndrome, where the stiffness of the controls basically makes it look more like you're a robot enacting commands rather than a person playing a video game that's supposed to flow. It also has Sonic Lost World syndrome, where set pieces would automatically move you to different areas inorganically, regardless of your input. A way that you can compare this in Sonic Adventure 2, for the most part, other than like maybe a few levels or a few certain parts where they would like, you know, they would take the control from you, you can basically jump at any time. Like whenever you see a speed up that speeds you along, you can do a jump, you can go anywhere. You had an exploration, like organic exploration. But in Sonic Lost World and in this game as well, they're kind of having that where you're pretty much stuck on a. You pretty much, once you hit one of these speed ups, you're kind of stuck and you can't get out of them under any circumstances. The exploration in the game, while it is not terrible and not good, most of it is just using Sonic's dash, not his spin dash, just his aerial dash that he does, which is kind of like using the boost in the air, but kind of like different. And sometimes you can go to the right, go up, and go to the right again. Like sometimes you can use it 3 times, sometimes you can only use it once. It's kind of like it works whenever it wants to, type of thing. And you kind of mostly use it to break these blue boxes that you should be seeing. And most of the enemies are pushovers. They're just basically obstacles to kind of just use your homing attack to get into, which the homing attack is BB, so they didn't screw that up. They kind of screw up the momentum. And there's some shield enemies that screw up the momentum so well that you have to actually stop in your tracks, pull the shield off, and then defeat them. Which honestly, I don't know why you wouldn't just overlook them. But your character can homing attack to them, so you kind of get hit there. The first level is really lengthy, but it's adequate. I won't give it. It's not terrible. There's a lot of bad stuff in it, but it's not 100% terrible. It leads me wanting more, but less at the same time. Any case, the second level was Worm Tunnel. Now this level is it's like all 3 levels are different, but this level type feels like a speed level from Sonic Lost World combined with boost sections from Sonic Unleashed. It's the least challenging and investing level. This is one where I would say it's bad, because you literally just run in a straight line and you kind of dodge while boosting. And there's really no... A lot of people criticize Sonic Unleashed for this, but what people needed to know that there was actual challenge, there was different inputs. You needed to jump, you needed to move, you needed to actually control. Like there was some memorization to it and everything. And there was actual skill involved. But in this one, you're kind of just boosting. You just quick step boost, quick step boost, quick step boost, and then occasionally you'll have to enter beam onto a rail, and then you'll just move to get rings. And the way quick stepping in this game is kind of a little bit awkward, because you can't just, you can't just quick step organically. You have to stop yourself, stop momentum yet again, by stopping boosting. Then you gotta move, then you gotta boost, then you gotta stop again, then you gotta move, then you gotta boost. The only challenge you really get from this level is by trying to collect all the rings, which you need to do with 100% accuracy, which honestly isn't that hard, but it actually brings the level to do something, so maybe that's what they wanted to do with it. And the third level was Seaside Race, which honestly, come on, like, I can get you want to reference Seaside Hill or Seaside Beach, maybe I can let that go, but Seaside Race, you're not even trying with it. Seaside, 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 is this like the Sonic Boom thing, where it's like everything has to be related to an island? It's a race against sticks, and it's not too bad, not too good. Honestly, it's kind of like, it's like Sonic Rivals, but you can't. It's kind of like this. It's like if Sonic Rivals had no interaction between you and the other person with like items and such. That's kind of like what it feels. Like kind of like Sonic Generations for 3DS. When you would verse a Shadow and, Silver and Metal Sonic, and like you couldn't really interact with them, but even then you could kind of hit them. You could hit them. They could hit you, stuff like that. But like in this one, there's even less interaction, to the point where sticks, you can kind of walk right through sticks. There's really no point, and it's kind of like a ghost. Think of a ghost Sonic. You're kind of racing against a ghost version of yourself on a timer, rather than an actual enemy or an actual person to race against. And most of it is just prematurely jumping and reacting to your surroundings. Again, there's a lot of enter beam use, but most of it can just be bypassed. And here are some overall themes to it. Falling is weird. And when I say falling, I mean like when you fall off a cliff or a ledge, it feels weird because you warp back to the last spot that you stood at rather than getting hurt Sonic style. And getting hurt Sonic style and having like invincibility for a little bit. You just kind of like warp all the way back. Which the weird part is when you actually make a jump, a long jump, and you try to dash and you're trying to get over there and you hit it. Instead of getting hit to that place and be able to still go, you go all the way back to when the last place you actually stood on, which gets annoying when you're trying to actually look for secrets and stuff like that. There's a bunch of awards to win per level. There's at least 3, or at least what I'm thinking 3, because the first level, Seaside Beach, there was 5, but the other 2 levels had at least 3, so I think there has to be at least 3 because the first 3 are basically the standard ones. You have 1 for completing the level, which obviously you saw that coming. You have 1 for collecting a number of rings, and then we have 1 for completing the level in, a time frame, in the time allotted. As far as I know, you won't fail. Well, actually, I haven't failed at the race one, but you probably won't fail that one. But, you need to, but basically there's at least going to be those 3 rewards, and then for full levels like Seaside Beach, there's going to be 1 for collecting a number of washers, which, some people may call them screws, but they're actually washers, that's what it's called, and there's going to be 1 for collecting a number of crystals, some shattered crystals. Any case, trying to collect all these awards is going to make the 100% in the game a little bit harder, because it's kind of like trying to search throughout the level to find everything isn't that bad. But you have to find all the crystals and all the washers within the level. You can go back, but the demo itself keeps booting you out to the start screen every time you complete a level, regardless of whether or not you completed everything. So you'll never be able to like restart it unless you just restart it the second you beat it. But, like, if you want to actually have, like, a demo where you can 100% the demo, yeah, no. Any case, I have some predictions for it. The demo shows a little icon that says there's 34 levels because it shows the level icon, the level completion icon award. I don't think that's accurate. I don't think any of these are accurate, but this is just what the demo's telling us. Based on how there's 40, total crystals and how there's 48 total washers, it looks like there's going to be 8 crystal and washer levels, but that doesn't sound right, because that means there's only going to be 8 real levels, and there's going to be a lot of padding, so I don't think that's actually going to be a possibility. And I also wanted to plug in, the music. The music was alright. This game just seems to be a lot of just alright things. A lot of it's repetitive. It's like mainly, it feels, I know it's longer than 30 seconds, but it feels like 30-second loops that just keep looping because it has the same repetitive beat over and over again with like a few variations as it goes on. So it kind of feels like it kind of feels like bad music, but it's upbeat, it's peppy, it's nice for the time being. Hopefully the music in the actual game's better, but largely these are going to be actual tracks in the game, because I doubt they're going to, make a whole new music score, by the time the game's going to be out, but there's obviously going to be more tracks and everything. But as far as the demo goes, the music was not very impressive. There's also a mysterious coin in the demo, which I have no idea what it does, so, who knows. But, that's basically my thoughts on the demo. Not too good, not too bad. Is it going to be the worst thing ever? Who knows? Honestly, I think it's personally going to be annoying, but let's just see when it comes out, because it's coming out next Tuesday, 5 days. Well, 5 days from this being recorded. Who knows when this is actually put up? But yeah. Check back here, because I'm going to have a Sonic Boom blind run for the Wii U version. I don't have the 3DS capture card, so the Wii U version is going to get a blind run day 1. And yeah, I'll probably be live streaming the game, actually, at some point or another. But if you haven't downloaded the demo yet, get on and go download it. And other than that, I'll see you guys next time.